Welcome back to the channel. I noticed that my last video got a lot of people's attention, but it doesn't compare to the news I have for you guys this time around. Something caught my attention that I still can't believe I overlooked, and because of that, I wanted to see what you guys would have to say about it. Foolio's death was pretty devastating to a lot of his fans, and till this day, I still can't bring myself to believe that he's actually gone. But what if I told you that while everyone is busy talking about the Jacksonville rap scene and Foolio's death, they've completely overlooked some major information in Alicia Andrews' defense? I'm talking about inconsistencies, ignored witnesses, and a one-sided media narrative that paints an incomplete picture. I was completely surprised to discover how much has been left out of the conversation. You'd think with all eyes on the trial, people would pay attention to the details, but no. Everyone's so focused on this one version of events that they've missed critical facts that could flip the entire narrative. If that's something you want to know about too, then stick around until the end of the video. I'm definitely sure a lot of you guys overlooked this info like I did too. Without wasting any time, let's get right into the video. First off, did you know that several people who were with Foolio on the night of the incident weren't even properly investigated? That's right. These weren't just random bystanders. These were people who traveled with Foolio from Jacksonville to Tampa and were with him at the critical moments. Some of these people are people with criminal histories, and they were also carrying weapons. I already talked about who the people the investigators say traveled with Foolio for his birthday in a previous video, but for those of you who aren't aware, let me rehash it for you again for this video so you can get a clear picture of what I'm talking about. Now here's something that I think is pretty interesting. According to the court documents, only 4 people got shot that night. The first is Kenya Bentley, who is ATK Kesey's cousin. The second is Xavier Edwards, who's also known as the rapper Omida 55. The third is Gino Norris, who's Foolio's cousin. And finally Foolio himself. So even though ATK Kesey tells people that ATK had nothing to do with Foolio's murder, a lot of people are still raising eyebrows about it. It looks a bit weird that Kenya, who's related to an actual member of ATK, just happened to be there as well. Another important detail that was mentioned in the court documents was that Kenya's car was trailing Foolio's car back to Home 2 Suites, and also that she had 2 guys with her who were also at the hotel during the shooting. The documents lay out the cars that Foolio's entourage used, and also which people were in each of them. Let me tell you guys what the document says about that. The first car is the Dodge Charger, which is Foolio's car. His car had him in the right front side of the passenger seat, with Omida 55 driving it on the front left passenger seat. Foolio's cousin Gino, on the other hand, was in the back seat of the car. The second car was a Hyundai Sonata, which had Foolio's girlfriend Armani Taylor, which some of you guys already know as Mani, and with her in that car was her friend Ajoa Randolph and Robert Howard, who you guys already know as Kenny Caps. The third car was Kenya's car. Her car was a Nissan Altima, and she had a guy named Typha McRae, who you guys already know as Swaze, and another guy by the name of Lee, which some of you guys already know as Misley. Now that you guys have caught up, before I continue with what I want to say to you guys, I want you to take a look at this court document that was recently filed by Alicia's lawyers at the Hillsborough County Court in Alicia's defense. Take a look. What you guys will notice Alicia's team said is that the investigators barely questioned the people who traveled with Foolio about what they saw happen that morning, didn't bother getting written statements, and just let them walk away, even though there were inconsistencies and lies in their initial interviews. How is that not suspicious? Instead, all the focus went straight to Alicia Andrews and her co-defendants. It's almost like the investigators had their minds made up from the start. But it gets even deeper. They say Foolio himself had been posting on social media about feeling unsafe, betrayed, and distrustful of the people around him. He even talked about being afraid of being backdoored. This wasn't some vague feeling. They say he was talking about the people closest to him, the same people who were with him the night he died. And guess what? That's another thing the investigators completely ignored. Imagine if those posts had been taken seriously. It could have pointed the investigation in a totally different direction. Now here's the part that really hit me. They say Alicia Andrews was in an abusive relationship with Guteze. They also say the relationship involved physical abuse, emotional manipulation, the whole deal. This wasn't just a casual detail, this was crucial to understanding her role in this case. She could have been coerced, acting out of fear or under duress. But the investigators didn't bother to dig into that either. Think about it, if someone is being controlled and manipulated in an abusive relationship, can we really say they acted freely? This is key information that could change how we see her involvement in Foolio's death. And here's something else that's been swept under the rug: timeline inconsistencies. The state's theory is that Alicia Andrews and her co-defendants were following Foolio. But surveillance footage? Witnesses? They say otherwise. Apparently, Foolio's group was already there, parked for several minutes, before Alicia and her co-defendants even showed up. If the decision to go to the hotel was made last minute, how would Alicia and her co-defendants even know where Foolio was? This raises serious questions about the entire case, if you ask me. And it doesn't stop there. Witnesses who were close to Foolio, people associated with him, lied in their interviews. You heard that right. They gave inconsistent statements, yet there was zero follow-up investigation. Why weren't these people investigated further? Why wasn't more done to uncover the truth? If you're starting to feel like something isn't adding up, you're not alone. And to top it off, the media ran with a one-sided story, focusing only on Alicia Andrews and her co-defendants. They ignored all of these other angles: the suspicious people, the timeline issues, and the social media threats. Everything else got buried. It's almost like the case was wrapped up in a neat little package to make it easier for the public to digest, but the truth? The truth is far more complicated. So, why hasn't the state been ordered to investigate these leads? Why are we only hearing one side of the story? They say Alicia Andrews deserves a fair investigation, and so does everyone else that was present that night. The whole truth needs to come out, because right now, we're only seeing a part of the picture. If you want justice, you need to dig deeper than what the media is telling you. Stay tuned, because not only am I going to keep covering this case for you guys, I'm also going to be uncovering the facts that everyone else keeps missing. If you like the content I'm sharing with you guys, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. I put in a lot of effort into finding rare information about the Jacksonville rap scene, so it's good to know that you guys show me appreciation by tuning in. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.